Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for BoardGameGeek at San Diego Comic-Con at home, and I am sitting with Jason Snyder from Game Right. Hello, Jason.
Hello, how's it going, Beth? Great to see you.
Excellent. I'm excited for you. Have picked up Dungeon Drop, which is from Phase Shift Games. So I'm really excited that this is also joining the Game Right family as well, because I think it's got a lot of those characteristics that I'm used to seeing from Game Right as well. I'm going to toss things straight over to you to tell us, what are we doing in Dungeon Drop?
Awesome. We are creating an instant dungeon that you are going to collect gems, treasures from, and avoid goblins and trolls, and of course the mighty dragon. But you're going to do it in an innovative way. I think one of the things that grabbed me about this game was that it's not I can't really define it. It's not a board game. You play it on a table, but it's not with boards and meeples. Actually, there are some meeples, and I should take that back, but it's not the point of it. You drop a dungeon out of these cubes that represent different elements of a dungeon crawl. So you've got gold, you've got gems, and you've got also characters. So there are some familiar elements, like you get to make your own character between a race and a class, but then by the means by which you collect all your loot in this game is done in a way that, I haven't seen. It's somewhat kinetic, it's somewhat of a dexterity game, but it's actually more of a visual puzzle. So it's got all these elements in it. So that's one of the things that really attracted me about it. I love to find innovative games, and this one just kind of jumped out at me, both being innovative and easy to play and very family friendly. So it really had the makings of a Game Right game. And good on Phase Shift for discovering it, working with Scott Smith, the designer who created it, and bringing it to market through Kickstarter. And then we're hopefully going to help it to get a broader audience throughout the years. It's a little bit of a shame that we can't play it physically, because it really is a physical game. We had it make its debut at PAX East back in literally 2 weeks before everything got shut down. And the excitement was palpable because we can have the games out on these tables that people could see and collect all the pieces with. So, but we'll do our best here. We'll try our best. Given the circumstances, we'll look at the table and see if we can make this game work in a virtual setting as well. So basically, what you see. You want to ask questions?
Well, just that Nikki has very nicely set us up with some characters there. So why don't you start there, kind of how people are going to go about sort of forming their team, and then we'll talk about how they form their dungeon.
Right. So the game comes with a bunch of character cards, and they're split in half. You've got your race cards and you've got your class cards. So, yep, you can see that you're talking class, and on the left is a race. So what you have in play are 4 different race class combinations. I'm sorry, I can't see just quite well what the one that you've highlighted there, Nikki. There we go. So Shadow Folk Cleric is what you are playing with. And so again, you take random race and a random class, and you put them together. And what those do are symbolic of a few things. First, on the top left corner of the race is your starting ability. So that tells you your initiative, how much you have, and it basically just indicates who's going to be the first player. The lower the initiative, the sooner you go in the game to start for the first round. Right down below that is your health. And so each character has a certain amount of health, and you can't ever go less than that amount of health during the game. And then the most important thing is in the middle there, is on the bottom, middle of the bottom, tells you what your ability is. I'm sorry, back on that Shadow Folk card. It tells you what that special ability is for that card. So it says, can you read it off? Because I can't see that well.
The Shadow Folk ability was the lockpick. Flick 1 key or chest.
Got it. Does that say flick to get 1 key or chest?
Yes, it does.
Flick 1 key or chest. Okay, so we'll get there in a second, right? And then, so that's the race. Then the class is a cleric. So we got a Shadow Folk Cleric, and then all the cleric does is give you 1 more bonus ability. So down at the bottom,
it's a miracle.
I'm trying to read it. It's not easy to do.
Reveal 2 cubes from the box, then return them. You may flick 1 cube of either color.
Right. So we'll get to that down the road, but that's just basically an overview of each character. So once why don't we go around and reveal all the different, and then why don't we go up around and show the next character that we put together. I'm going to pick one of them. There we go. Thank you. And Isham Beastmaster. So count 1 gem as a pillar. I could read that. And that's 13 initiative. So most likely this character is probably going to go last. They've got a lot of health, but they do go last. And then the other one is flick one small monster. If it hits a treasure, collect that treasure.
Collect the treasure.
Great. Thank you.
Long reach for Nikki.
Oh my gosh. I love this. A Stonekin Bard. Oh, good combo. What does it say? So it's got 12 initiative, decent amount of health. It says remove one treasure in your stash from the game to flick one pillar. And we'll get to what pillars are when we get to the setup of the game. And then I can't see what this is. When looting a room, do not collect a pair of monsters of the same color. Okay, we'll get to that as well.
A serenade.
And then last but not least, we've got the Wood Elf Archer. Okay, uncover 2 health points.
2 health points.
That it says.
Yep.
Remove the cubes beside your heart. So basically, you're gonna, if you lose health, you're gonna cover those hearts with different monsters. But this is a special ability to uncover those 2. And then, remove the cubes.
Flick one non-pillar cube. And then if it hits another cube of the same color, collect them both.
Yep. Got it. Awesome. Okay, so now each person has gotten their, and it's a 2 to 4 player game. Actually, it's 1 to 4 player. There's a solo mode too, but best play with a group. Then you've got, each player has got a secret quest. And that's the red splotch backed card. At the beginning of the game, each person's dealt out a secret quest. You want to just take one and throw it up in front of the camera so we can see it close up. Excellent. So Hero's Help. So what this says for Hero's Help is that this is this character's secret quest, that clear cubes, diamonds, are going to be worth 3 points. The blue cubes are going to be worth 2 points, and the pink cubes are also going to be worth 2 points. And then it says your teamwork points score double, 4 players, triple, 3 players, or quadruple for 2 players. Now, teamwork is a variant. It's once you kind of get to know the game, there is you can play with teamwork, which allows you to get points on other players' turns. I'm not sure we'll play it that way this time forward, but it's actually a nice way to keep players engaged as the game goes on. So that's how Hero's Help worked. Should we look at a couple of the other special quests while we're looking at the game? Yep. All right, Earl's Errand. So in this case, pinks were 3, blues were 2, clears worth 1. Small gold scores double, and large gold scores triple. Gem Cutter's Gemstones. So large cubes are worth 4 points, and small cubes of the gem colors, so the blue, the pink, and the clear, are worth 1 point. So 4 for big, 1 for the small ones. And then last but not least, we've got Fool's Folly. So blue's worth 3, clear's worth 2, pink's worth 1, and chests score +3 each. And we'll get to those.
So we've had a little tease that there are going to be some big cubes and small cubes, which is, I think, a nice transition for us to talk about the dungeon.
Exactly. So to start the game, you are going to separate out the big cubes from the small cubes, because the big cubes are going to be what gets dropped from round to round, and the small cubes, so you'll take the big cube box and just put that over to the side for the moment. Can you make a difference? Can you just separate? And the small cubes, you're going to reach in and grab all the small cubes, put them in your hand, or you can just keep them in the box, and you're going to spill them out onto that central playing area. They're going to form the dungeon with those cubes. So boom,
bam, there's
we've got a dungeon. Now you may just want to, because we usually drop them from a little higher height. They spread it a little further, so maybe you just want to do the due diligence of just moving some of those cubes out towards the perimeter. Or, yeah, you can pick them up and drop it. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit interesting. I'm guessing there's no zoom feature. Is there on this? Can we zoom in any closer to the middle of the playing area? Or is it fixed focal length? This is awesome. Yes. Bring us in.
Welcome to our dungeon.
I love it. Excellent. It's a little hard to see some of the cubes against the background, but we'll do the best we can to kind of just get the general gist of it. So let's go over a lay of the land here. So first and foremost, the ones that pop out to my eyes the most are the really bright green cubes. Those are goblins. They're worth -1 point. If you collect a goblin, they just go right over one of your hearts. Next up, in terms of bad guys, the other thing I see very clearly is a big red cube at the top of the screen. That's the dragon. That dragon is worth 8 points if you can kill it, but it does 8 damage. And if you remember looking at the hearts on all those characters, nobody has 8 hearts, so it will instantly kill you. The only way that you're going to be able to get that dragon killed is by first collecting a magic shield. And I don't know if I see one out there. No, actually there isn't any. They're in the box of big cubes. So you'd have to first get a magic shield, and then you can kill the dragon that way. So then you can see on the table, and unfortunately it just doesn't look amazing because of the coloration, but the various different gems. You've got clears, and you got pinks and blues. Can you point out what a clear is? So we can see it clears, pinks, and blues. Yep, awesome. And just as an aside, if there is a dark green, I'm sorry, like a dark green translucent cube, you can pull that out of the game. Yep, you can pull that out. That's for solo mode. And then if there's a black cube, you can pull out that as well too. I don't know if you see black cube can be pulled out. Yep, those are both solo Spelunker mode. You don't play those for a 2 to 4 player game. And then there's gold. I can see a lot of little gold gems all around there. That's gold as you see them. And last but not least, actually 2 more things. There are these orange cubes. They are keys. What we don't see right now, which we'll see in a little bit, are some treasure chests. But those keys are going to be needed to unlock a treasure chest. You're going to need a combination of 1 key and 1 treasure chest to do that. The last thing is the most important thing. So let's take a deep breath to understand this. Are these grayish marbled cubes? They are the rooms in the dungeon. Actually, the walls. And what you're going to be doing is triangulating 3 cubes to make a room. So I'm going to see if you can pick one out there. It's like 1, 2, and the thing is actually that's a wall right there. But 3, yeah, exactly. Any 3 would make a room. You can't have a wall in a room or another cube in a room. So unless your character says otherwise, the maximum you can have in any room would be 3. Yep, and you actually would draw a line like that to pick them up. Exactly. So, yep, you would triangulate a room going 1, 2, 3, and it's the nearest cube to make the 3. So if you move your bottom pencil up, that bottom pencil up a little bit, the bottom part of it, yep. That exactly right. So that cube to then draw a straight line up north of that pencil point, not north, but like basically to 1 o'clock. Yep, yeah, exactly. And then pull that blue pencil down to that same point. Pull the blue pencil point down to that point. No, just down a little bit. Oh, I guess yeah, you could do that one. That would be a huge room. Yep, right there. That would be a gigantic room. Boom, exactly. You've triangulated. And that right here, this is the meat of the game. You are going to be triangulating rooms by looking and seeing where the most opportune places to pick up stuff from the dungeon without getting too many bad guys like goblins or trolls or dragons. Thank you for getting it. So, okay, so now that was the long-winded setup. So we learned about the characters, we learned about the cubes and all they do, and now we're ready to play. And in a 4-player game, you're going to start every turn the same way. You're going to reach into that box of big cubes without looking. And if you want, I don't know, for the drop, you may want to zoom out to see, or we can do it in here. We'll see how it works at this level of zoom in. So you're just going to reach in without looking, grab 3 cubes, and drop them into the dungeon.
Hence the name.
Boom. Yep. And so anywhere that it goes it goes. I mean, this game scatters. It's a great table game. So that's the first part of every turn. So that was turn 1. By the way, which character goes first by initiative wise? The lowest initiative. So if you want to just throw the character up in front so we can see what their special ability is, because I didn't get a close look at it. I think it might have been the Isham, but
Oh, we can't see that, Nikki. You'll have to pull the character closer to the cubes.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, the Wood Elf goes first. Okay, the Wood Elf goes first. So the Wood Elf has 2 abilities. Let's go take a look at her abilities. So the second part of your turn is you can invoke 1 of your 2 abilities. So Wood Elf Archer. That's flick one non-pillar cube, and if it hits another one of the same color, you can collect them both. That's a nice ability. What's the Wood Elf's ability? What can the Wood Elf do? Just pull her character back up. And that's the Uncover One health. Okay, so we don't have any health issues yet. So we're probably going to use that Archer ability. So for free right now, or as for a special ability, we can invoke that special flicking ability, which is to flick two non-pillars into each other and collect both. I don't know. I see 2 gold at the top of the screen right there. Can we knock them into each other and collect them both? Yeah, try it. See if you can, with your finger, flick. Oh, miss. Okay, so unfortunately, good try, but could not be able to collect that. So then the third part of the turn goes, and this is for every player. So each player, all players drop for stage 1, use one of their 2 special abilities for stage 2, and then for stage 3, form a room. Triangulate a room using 3 pillars of the dungeon and collect all the stuff in it. Let's look around. I mean, that room that you showed was huge, although there's a lot of goblins in there. I think it would probably kill this character because of the health points that are there. So there's like 3 goblins there, and you can't ever have more than 3. You can't ever have more of your hearts covered then. So you see a good one. If you get one, just pick one up and we can look at it if you want to put it in your hand, all the loot. That's a nice one. Yeah, I like that room.
Yeah, because that's a lot of gold.
And it's basically, if it's on the line, you get it. So pick up all the stuff that's there. You'd also want to check in with your character's special quest and see like, oh, are there good things that would maybe help me with my quest? But you'd pick them up. Can you hold those close to the camera so we can see, the players can see?
So it looks like 3 gold.
3 gold. And I think that one that is not gold is...
It's a purple. It's a shiny purple.
Shiny purple. Oh, we forgot about that. That is a health potion. You can use this health potion to get rid of one of the goblins or the trolls on your health guy. So you'd put that in your character, on your character card that goes there, and that's the end of your turn. So again, this 3-step turn is drop 3 cubes, use a character's ability, and then form a room. You want to do one more? I don't know how. We don't need to play a full game, but you can get a feel for the different characters.
Well, I'm also really interested to give you a few minutes to talk about the solo mode, because this isn't a game I think most people would think would intrinsically come with a solo mode.
Right. Yes, exactly. It does have a solo mode. Let me see if I can pull that together. Hold on one second. I want to just grab a couple things on my end to make that workable. Yeah, we may have to come back to that. Actually, I wasn't.
That's fine.
I don't have the solo stuff in front of me. Oh, so you use the black and the green cubes that were there, but I don't have all the details of it in front of me right now. So we can come back to it. I apologize. Yeah, but that's just the general player turn and play rate for the game. You can see. For the 2 to 4 player, the explore, act, and loot phases. And then the player aid just shows you the pillars, the monsters that I talked about. The trolls, by the way, are not in the small cubes, they're part of the big cubes. And then the teamwork card, or the solo Spelunker mode, yep, exactly, is on the back of the teamwork card. Exactly. And the way the teamwork card works is that while you're looking to triangulate a room, your opponents have little meeples. You maybe want to throw one of those meeples up that's next to one of the character cards. Beautiful. So if I've got that meeple, when it's not my turn, if I see a great room, I can throw my meeple into a room. And if the player who's active takes that room, I get a teamwork bonus point for that. So that's a really nice way to kind of keep players engaged when they're not focused on what they're looking for on their turn. Let's say if they want to try to give a hint to one of their opponents, oh, go here. It's, I don't want to say it's cooperative, but it's somewhat helpful. But you do score some points for it towards the end of the game. How does the game end? It's only a 3-round game, so each player gets 3 turns to drop something, use their ability, loot. So each person does that 3 times. And at the end of 3 rounds, the game ends. Everybody counts up their loot and reveals their secret quests, and whoever has the highest score is the winner. Well, that's basically it in a nutshell. I mean, it's fast. It's a 10, 15-minute game, sometimes 20 minutes, but it really scratches that itch of fast dungeon crawl, Kids really love it. That kinetics feeling of being able to look and use bits as dungeon pieces is really neat. So I absolutely adored this game from the moment that I saw it, and I really think it's got that sort of standout quality. That's what makes a Game Right game tick.
And maybe Nikki wouldn't mind just dumping out all the large cubes kind of under.
Sure,
under
yeah. If you want to show, so what we didn't see in the
exactly.
Of the small cubes, some of the big cubes, particularly the treasure chest is one of my favorites.
The treasure chest, yeah, that's what I wanted to put out there.
Yep. So the treasure chest, if you want to take a treasure chest and a key and bring that close up, Nikki, that'd be great. Perfect. So, yep, those are both treasure chests. What's neat about treasure chests is if you get a key and you've got that combo, the 1-in-1 combo at the end of the game, you get to roll to see what's in your treasure chest. So right now, the one on the left is that's worth 1 point, but pick it up and roll it. And that one's worth 5 points, but you would roll them. Oh, you got 3 points. That's a 3 bonus point treasure chest. So it's up to 6 points for treasures at the end of the game. But I like the fact that it's very thematic. You need to get the key to unlock the treasure chest.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that you could find in that mess of big cubes are the magic shield, which I mentioned. It's kind of a bubbly looking blue cube.
Which might disappears on the green screen.
It doesn't disappear. It doesn't look great on the green. Yeah, it looks a little better there. Yeah, but that's what you'd use to defeat the dragon. You collect that, and then at the end of the game, if you've got that, you're able to go into a room with a dragon and kill it and get 8 points for that dragon.
Yeah,
so
I mean, what a
dungeon
good
drop. It's an infinite dungeon, instant dungeon, infinite possibilities.
Either one works. Depending on how far the cubes roll, it might be an infinite dungeon.
Exactly, it could be like a full room game. We haven't tried that yet. We're just like putting it on the floor. We've always wanted to do like we've got a dog, so that doesn't work in our house too well. But in a non-pet house, drop it on the floor and just see how far it goes.
Actually, and I believe there's
the
a specific
guys are
rule
making all
for
kinds
what
of
happens.
interesting additions to the game. They're building out some walls that you can get. They've got a nice mat that goes with it, a nice neoprene mat. So there's all kinds of upgrades. They're constantly bringing out cool new expansions to it. So I see a whole world growing here in the world of Dungeon Drop. You can really have a super growing dungeon.
I believe there is a rule for what happens if a cube does fall on the floor, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, if the cube falls on the floor, then the next player gets to drop it on their turn. So it's a bonus. So it's like it incentivizes you. Don't get overzealous with your dropping, because you can only give it to your opponent.
Well, Jason, I'm delighted you're able to take some time with us to give us a really awesome in-depth view of Dungeon Drop, which is being picked up by Game Right. And when is it going to be available for people to purchase?
It's shipping right now. It's available where your fine local game store.
Okay, that's the answer we like to hear. Well, Jason, thank you again, and we look forward to other cool stuff from Game Right.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.